Oh yes, yes, we is in this thing again. Okay, what's good, YouTube, man? If y'all was able to return back to the channel, want to say thank you so much, and I appreciate y'all. Just want to start off by saying that, man. But as y'all see, I got a new client here. We got a waiver in the building. You feel me? So anytime you start with a waiver, um, you always want to start off by combing their hair out or brushing it. I did brush his hair and I combed it a lot longer than what I just showed. But I didn't want to make this video too long. Just want to get right into it. Excuse me. I wanted to get right into this video. But when you get you a waiver, you always want to comb it, brush it, do that for a good, I did it for like a good 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Just take care of your waivers, man. You know what I'm saying? You wanna take care of them, you know. And when you're working with different hair textures of waves, here, DJ he got coarse hair, so like he has a mixture between coarse with a little bit of curl into it. You know what I'm saying? He has some really nice defined waves. It's a lot of people that may think that cutting waves is easy, but it's really not. Because you have to understand the wave pattern, especially if it's somebody like this that take care of their waves. They're gonna want their waves laid down to a certain length. They don't want to. You got some people. They may not really know too much about waves. Like they may not look into it. They may not be super heavy into it and all that good stuff. So you may have to do your schoolwork and let them know what's best for them and what's best for their waves. Right now, I'm using my Andis Masters corded, as you can see, and I have a one guard on, and I have it halfway open. So this is going to knock his hair down to a 1.5. Now, recently, I haven't been using the Andis Masters to cut down any waivers, just because it is a little time consuming when you do use the cords. That's just my opinion. Um, Especially if you're trying to, on a day like this day that I cut his hair, I was pretty booked up this day. So I think I had about 6 clients that I saw that day, and I didn't even know that he was coming that day, nor did I know another client was coming in. So, you know, that's just something that you have to be aware of, when you cutting people. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you've been cutting for a long time. If you got a lot of clients, you want to get to a certain point to where you can, when they come in, you're like you literally got 2 minutes or 3 minutes left on your client's head, and you probably just doing some, little minor touch ups or whatever. But here we gonna break into with my 1.5 guard. So some people, they use a 2 guard open. It's so many different ways that you can debulk. I like to debulk first before I break into the fade. Man, I done seen so many ways that people fade. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you don't have to follow every single barber's steps. You know what I'm saying? Like try your own thing, but just understand the basics whenever you're cutting. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I debulked with a 1.5 open, and I also closed it halfway and went with the grain just to smooth down the hair even more so. So right here, I do my triangle method. Like I said, this is not my method that I've created. This was the first person I saw do this. Like I said, was 360 Jeezy. So this is his method. So I started using it. Like I said, I want to try something different because I've been cutting hair for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to switch it up, challenge yourself, challenge your craft and all that. Don't be so stuck on one way. You know what I'm saying? you know, no disrespect to none of the old heads out there, but sorry to say that some were kind of stuck in their ways when it comes to fading. You know what I'm saying? And like you can tell when it's an old head that ain't cut somebody's hair. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just tell. But aside from that, for a second, I just want to talk about how I do my fades once again. When I set my guideline in, I do fully open, halfway close, and then I go fully close to blow out that bottom panel, or in other words, that bottom line that we created, which was our first one, which is the bald line. And also, if you play it back, you'll see that I don't open my lever all the way open. Like, I don't open it up all the way. I open it up to about the fourth notch, and there's probably two notches that are still left. So the reason why I don't do it all the way is because I just don't hear any ear cutting. So, and it's gonna give you a guideline that you can see a lot faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people work down from every notch. You don't have to do that. You really don't have to do that. That's gonna take too much time away from you fading. If you're trying to get faster, you have to eliminate some steps. You know what I'm saying? But keep the same fundamentals, but you're just taking out certain steps. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing right here. So I got my one guard on. As you see where my lever is, it's halfway. But to me, that is what I consider a fully open. The only time I'll go fully open with a clipper is if I'm gonna like cut somebody's hair down that has like curly hair, and I'm cutting their hair down to like a wavelength. I'll cut them down to like, I'll take a 3 guard and I'll open it up all the way just to be on the safe side, just to see how the hair acts. But other than that, I don't ever open the clippers up that high. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you're trying to get faster, if you're trying to get better, those are the things that you can do. So try that out. You know what I'm saying? And I did do like a beginner's fade right here. And what I mean by that is, I don't typically use the one guard to start my second guideline. I use the point five, the point five, which you typically use to take out your middle line after you use the one, which is what I got on. So I do, like I said, I'm still following the fundamentals, but I'm just adding and subtracting another step. So right here, I'm using that 1.5, or I'm using my one guard to detail between the 1.5 that I used to debulk first, and then the one guard that I set in for my second guideline. And I just have it open to to my fully open, which is halfway. So right now I take my point 0.5 guard, and I'm gonna take out the middle line, which is what I'm showing you right here. So we take out our middle line, and we're using our corners the entire time completely. Use your corners the entire time. Don't be in a rush to, get done. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're starting off, like, you know, cutting hair, you're just gonna get better over time. You're gonna start finding new things out. Like I said, I've been cutting hair for a minute, and I'm still learning. Like yours, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to make a mistake, to learn. You know what I'm saying? So, like when I first started cutting, it was a lot of cuts that I let walk off that were bad. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I did that was because it's gonna be in my head the entire time. I'm just that type of person. Like, I'm gonna let it leave like that because it's gonna be in my head. Like, dang, like, man, I jacked bro up. You know what I'm saying? So, and so therefore, if that person comes back, or if I cut somebody else, now I know what not to do. It's gonna be in my head like, all right, you remember last time you tried that, and you messed old dude up. You see what I'm saying? So that's just how you want to think. You know what I'm saying? Let some of them bad cuts walk off, because you ain't gonna do it no more. You know what I'm saying? Somebody either gonna talk about you, or you gonna talk about yourself. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody coming to you and they trying you out, more than likely they're not gonna be harsh on you. You know what I'm saying? But if you played that back, I'm sorry, I kind of got caught into what I was just saying. But we gonna speed it up on here on the backside, because it's literally the same thing. But on that on the side on the temple fade. Um, you take your middle line out with the no guard. So like I said, it's a lot of steps that I don't follow traditionally, but I did on that side on the temple. I did do like a beginner's fade, but like I said right here, uh, if I can remember, I don't think I did. I think I didn't. I only used my masters right here just to start the fade, like to start my first guideline. But in the back, I switched it up the style that I was doing on the side. I switched it up. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, like I started my second guideline with the Babyless, and I finished it off like that. So y'all gonna see what I'm saying when I say that you don't have to do all the traditional steps. Like try out different methods, different steps if you're trying to finish faster. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same concept that you're gonna do on the back of the neck. Fully open, halfway closed, and then fully closed. Okay, so yeah, I did. Never mind. So I still use the masters in the back. Same thing. Went up a full inch. And the way that you see the way that his waves are wrapped around his head. And that's the way that his growth pattern is. It's not traditionally where it's vertical, up and down. His hair doesn't grow like that. One thing you have to understand about hair is that hair grows in different directions, especially if it's a wave or whichever way their hair is growing, that is the way that you need to, cut it down to. But now when it comes to the fading, they understand, it's like, yeah, I'm going to have to lose some waves right there, all depending on who the person is. So, DJ, when he first came to me, he wasn't rocking a fade. He was just rocking just an all even, like he'll knock his hair down to the length that I have it right now. And that's what he was going with. You see what I'm saying? But I recommended, and I said, hey, so what were you usually getting? He was like, oh, I just get like an all even. I said, you ever try to fade out? I said, like, I can show you like a low fade, like a low tempo fade. You still got waves that you're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna look good, but you just gonna have a fade that's just gonna make your waves look a lot better. He was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, we can do that. So that's what he been getting ever since he been coming to me. So, and like I said, it's just all about taking care of your clients, especially a waiver. You know what I'm saying? Like the barber that I was going to when I had waves, he wasn't cutting them right at all. Like, man, at all. He was picking my hair out. He would wash the hair, pick my hair out into a fro, and then he would cut my hair like that and tell me that, oh, your waves are gonna lay back down when you go wash them. So I was like, bro, no, that's not how this works. And like I said, I'm not the type of person who is going to force anything or any style on someone that they do not want. That is not a good barber. If you have a barber who is telling you like, oh, don't tell me how to cut, don't do this, I'm gonna give you what I think look good, what's gonna get me money and da 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 da. You need to leave that barber. I'm gonna just say that straight up. Like, yes, this is our business, but at the end of the day, you are the boss of us because you tell us what you want, and I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna get you paid because you listened to the client. Don't let nobody tell you, another barber tell you, no, you don't, they can't control how you do it, da 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 da. No, do not listen to that. It has been plenty of people that have told me something specific. They may not rock a fade. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a shadow. Just knock the hair down to a 2 on the sides, give me a lineup, blah blah blah, and just leave it at that. All right, cool. That is what they like. You give a client what they like, not what they want. Of course, there's nothing wrong with telling them, hey, have you ever tried a fade? Maybe you should go with this length. I think you'll make your your head shape look a lot better. Nothing wrong with giving an opinion on how they should rock the hair. If they trust you enough, if anything, if you tell them something like that, they'll be willing to try something different if you enforce it like that. But if you telling somebody like, hey, oh, don't tell me how to cut, I've been doing this, I've been doing this 20 plus years, 30. Who cares? Who cares how long you've been cutting? Give me the haircut that I want. Simple as that. You know, which is another reason why I started cutting my own hair, because I'm like, bro, you're not giving me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I asked for. This is what I'm paying you for. I'm not paying you to don't tell me how to cut. I'm not paying you for that. So if you got a barber like that, try to find another barber who listens and who's gonna take care of your hair the way that you want it taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too, clients. You have to understand your hair texture. Understand your hair texture. Understand your hair. Let the barber know, or the stylist. You know, whoever it is. You know, not just a barber, but a stylist too, a braider. Let them know about your hair. Let them know that, hey, I can't use this certain shampoo. I can't use this conditioner. I can't use this wave grease. I can't use this facial cream. Whatever the case is, you have to know your body. You have to know this, because we have an idea, but we don't know you fully. Everybody's hair is different. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you know your hair texture. Make sure you know your how healthy your hair is. If you know you're thinning in areas, let the barber know. Like, hey man, I'm thinning in the back, so if you can't go so low on it because I don't want it to be noticeable. Okay, cool, man. Appreciate you letting me know. So when you start, you won't start knocking it down, just going in crazy, and you'll just know what to expect. Same thing with women. If women's hair, their hair does get thin as well. You got alopecia, you know what I'm saying? So now I don't know too much about alopecia, but I know of it. You know what I'm saying? I know that women can suffer from that as well, and men. But of course, it's more common for men to go bald. But still, be aware, women, of your hair as well, because your hair, know your hair. Help the stylist out. You know what I'm saying? But what I did on the front of his lineup, I knocked the guard. I go a guard size down, so I closed the one guard, and I knocked it down because I don't want his hair to have bangs or anything like that. So we knocked it down, and that's what I also do one for the neck as well. So I go a guard size down. So we did a 1.5 on top, all around, but then I knocked the neck hair down to a 1, and as well as the top of the head, where I'm gonna be lining them up at. And the reason why I do this is because you saw how look how sharp this line is. Because when you go to line his hair up, you don't want to be fighting against a whole bunch of hair. You see what I'm saying? Look at that ash line. That's a great ash line. See what I'm saying? And when you're doing that, that's what's gonna make it pop, because you knock the hairs down and you don't leave it so thick. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna be able to see all the hair that you need. You see what I'm saying? Without pushing his hair up way too high, because you're like, oh, I don't have an ash line. I don't have an ash line. Well, this is what's gonna help. And also using some hairspray, to lock the hair in place as well. And anytime you're lining up someone's neck, the neck, ears around the neck, always press their ear down. Always do that. You don't have to be, pushing down too hard, but just rest your ear, rest your finger on there to ensure them, like, hey, I'm gonna press down on your ear so I don't make sure I cut you. I think they'll, they'd rather you be pressing down on the ear than you just going in, and next thing you didn't cut the ear. I'm speaking from experience, because I had accidentally cut my brother's ear one time. So, and from that point on, I've been holding the back of them ears ever since. You know what I'm saying? So just trial and error, just learning and making mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But hold them ears down, man. So I'm giving you a heads up. If you've never cut hair, or if you think about cutting hair, or you cutting hair now, hold them ears down. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to injure nobody. Then they gonna be like, oh, ooh, man, I went to bro, and man, he cut me up, cut my ear up, man. How you cut my ear, and you supposed to be cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? So just be aware of that. But let's jump back into the fade though. So I like to start in the back of the neck and on the vertical bars. I don't know why I do it this way. Everybody got their own way of cutting, but this is how I do it. This is what I like to do. I like to say that front lining for the very last thing. Make sure everything's cleaned up, making sure everything is where I want it to be. I start from from right underneath the C cup and then at the bottom of the C cup, and sometimes I meet it in the middle. It just all depending on what I'm feeling that day. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I went ahead and showed y'all this lineup in full time. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can really see how I make my curves and how I make my C cups. You see what I'm saying? So the fade is looking great, man. This was a good cut. It was a good fade, man. So we're gonna hit the vertical bars as well. And so what you want to do is like imagine the hairline before you even cut it. You see what I'm saying? Imagine how it needs to look. You know what I'm saying? Like I see the hairline before I even make one. Like I said, I've been doing this for a hot minute. And of course you can't see me in here, but what I'm doing, so what I just did right there, so what I just did right there, I'm always taking a step back and I'm looking at my mirror the entire time. And again, if you're wondering why your lineups are coming out crooked, it's because you're not utilizing your mirror enough. I'm telling you, utilize your mirror because it gives you a different perspective than what you're looking at dead on. And for some reason, it does. I really do not know. I can't give you the reasoning behind that, but that is what it does. So go off of the mirror. You see what I'm saying? Because when a client looks at their head, they can't see themselves dead on, only through a mirror. So if they say one side looks higher than the other, more than likely they're right. Okay. So you may be like, man, from where I'm standing, it looks straight to me. More than likely you're wrong. I'm gonna just be honest with you, because that is exactly what I used to say. That's what I used to think. But then I'll go back and I'll be like, oh crap, nah, that mud does look crooked. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, don't get offended. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get offended if someone says they like, hey, can you bring this side up a little more? Now, granted, yeah, there may be some people that are just super picky and just like, okay, bro, come on now, like, you want me to go higher? You know what I'm saying? But hey, if that's what they want, then do it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever makes the client happy. If they want to go out like that, cool. But I'm sorry. And another thing that I forgot to mention, when you're doing your lineups, right? You want the right corner of the blade to be at an angle. So the right corner of the blade needs to be up, and the left corner of the blade needs to be slightly down. So don't be afraid to push those corners in, okay? Like it's a certain angle that you have to do it. You have to tilt it. So I'm showing y'all what the lineup. That's no enhance. I use no enhancements once again on this cut right here. And actually, like my first video, I don't know if some of y'all have seen my first video, but they copyrighted me, so it's probably not public. It's probably privated. But my actual first video, I did mention that like my first video was a all natural cut, but like I said, they hit me with a copyright, and I know why. So I'm gonna have to just get my nephew back on here again, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's just another tip for the lineup. But I might just make a video dedicated strictly to the lineup. But yeah, so this is this is the end results of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I did no spray, no fibers, and if you're going to use enhancements, like I said, the only enhancements that you really need are just the fibers, in my opinion. All that paint, you don't need all that. It's either you understand the hairline or you don't. Like I said, I didn't put no pencil on him to start my lineup. You either understand the hairline or you don't. You know what I'm saying? It's trial and error. Make a mistake, learn from it, and just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? If you love it enough, you gonna make mistakes and learn from it. But yeah, man. So this is the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. All of my socials will be listed in the video. throughout this video, man. So, make sure y'all give me a follow, give me a like, shout me out. You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. If you were able to learn something from this video, I really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the 30 subscribers that I do have. You know what I'm saying? We on the come up, man. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all stay safe.